So you're sailing on the Norwegian Encore.
It is a huge ship and can be kind of confusing.
Here are 10 tips and tricks to help you make the most of your vacation.
Today on This Happy Place. Hi friends! Welcome back to This Happy Place, and we want to share the 10 most important, biggest tips and tricks that we learned throughout our time on the Norwegian Encore.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, we did an Alaskan cruise on the Norwegian Encore in August.
Yep.
It was our first time sailing with Norwegian, obviously our first time on the Encore, and we had no idea what we were getting into. Jake a little bit more than I did. He did some research.
I did a lot of research.
But we picked up some tips and tricks along the way that will hopefully help you if you will be sailing on the Encore anytime soon.
Yeah, and aside from what you're about to hear, if you haven't watched the vlogs, go back and check those out. This is going to make a lot more sense if you have reference for what we're talking about.
Definitely.
It was a great cruise, don't get me wrong, but there's some things you need to know. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Number 1.
If you are eating in the Garden Cafe, which is the buffet on the Norwegian Encore,
right,
you want to head towards the back of the restaurant, which is...
That's forward on the ship.
Forward on the ship. It's a little confusing, but that area, we ate there quite a bit, and I would say 9 out of 10 times was almost empty.
Now, that being said, this was a roughly 60% capacity cruise, so it was more empty than it normally would be anyway, but I still think that most people, they go into the Garden Cafe, they go to where they want to get their food from, and they just find a table right near where they are. But if you just walk a little bit further towards the back of the restaurant, there's bathrooms back there, there's ice cream machines back there.
And that's all you need.
And that's all you need.
Also, we found the 2 best foods in the buffet were the Indian station and the wok, which was like the Asian food, and they're towards the back as well. So you're a little bit closer to them back there.
Yep. Okay, number 2, the local. This is another complimentary dining option on the ship. It's not buffet, it is table service, if you want to call it that, if you want to reference our Disney style of dining. But yep, they check you in, they sit you at a table, the service is so fast.
It's pretty much instantaneous.
Not a ton of options on the menu, but everything I had was good.
The food was good there.
And the coffee was definitely better at the local than it was at the buffet.
Absolutely. I think it's a really good option for breakfast. That is when I found the buffet to be most busy, especially on port days. Everyone's grabbing their breakfast. So if you give yourself, you don't even need to give yourself more time because the service was so quick, but go there for breakfast. You know, they had omelets, basic breakfast platters, French toast, pancakes.
Like all kinds of stuff that you could get there. Plenty of seating.
And you can order as many plates as you want.
And there's a bar.
And there's a bar.
So you want to get your mimosa with breakfast, you can do that there, but I did not see a place to get mimosas at the Garden Cafe.
Number 3, make sure that you get those reservations for the shows you really, really want to see as soon as you get on the ship. We literally got on the ship, did our little, we know what to do if the ship goes down drill, which now is all you do it virtually and then you just check in.
Right.
And then we went on the Encore, at least when we were on there, we went to the social, the comedy club, and they give you a sheet of all of the times for our cruise. It was the Comedians and Choir of Man were the only 2 shows that you could reserve because the other shows weren't happening. But you filled out which ones worked best with your schedule. You went up, you say, I want to do these 2 at these times. They put it on your ticket and you're good. Those shows fill really fast.
They do. And they would fill even faster on a full cruise.
Yeah. They do release reservations 10 minutes before a show starts. So if those people don't show up, they're not penalized. You know, there's a standby line, but the seating is going to be much more limited if you go and just do the standby line. So we recommend Choir of Man. That was like a fantastic show. Make sure you get reservations. You never know, by the time you watch this video, maybe you'll be able to make reservations online again before you get on the cruise, but that was not available when we did it. And I honestly don't think a lot of people do that anyway. So make sure that you go and get those reservations as soon as you get on the ship.
Number 4, the Observation Lounge. It's a great place to see the views and the vistas that Alaska has to offer if you're doing an Alaskan cruise. It's a great place to just sit and chill. The problem is, those seats, especially on an Alaskan cruise, fill up very fast. It's 2-story windows, the whole front third of the ship from port, wrap around the front to starboard, and it's kind of like the hangout place if you don't want to sit in the atrium and watch a game show. Because of that,
Seats
it's
went
always
fast. Yeah.
full. Like those seats, you got to get there early.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to say. Like get there early. If you're sailing into a new port, if you're going to the Endicott arm of the Dawes Glacier, whatever, stake a claim early in one of those seats next to the windows. Grab yourself a mimosa and a croissant from the little snacky areas that are there, and just chill. Because once those seats get full, it's hard to get one.
We saw so many whales just sitting in the observation lounge.
Yeah.
For an Alaskan cruise, it is wonderful, but
Worth spending some time there.
so it filled up so fast. So be prepared for that. Number 5, make sure that you book your excursions before you get on the ship. It is really easy to do. I prepaid and booked all of them. I don't know how soon you can do it. It might be 60 days. We booked this kind of short term, so I don't know what the time frame is for all of it, but the first 2 days, the excursion booking desk, the line was so long, and people,
They didn't have a ton of people working at the service desk either.
and every single family or person that would go through every single excursion and find out what's best for them. I just did that all online, went through the list, picked the 5 at each port that I thought we might be interested in, did a little research about them, and then just picked that one. They were paid for. We got our tickets once we were on board. We didn't have to do anything. It was so simple and saved us so much
The
time.
tickets show up in your stateroom like a day or two before the excursion.
When we got our room, they were there.
Yeah.
So-
it's do it early, do it online.
And then
Don't waste the time standing in line.
Exactly, and
You're
you
paying
know
for those hours,
exactly what
so.
you're getting, and you will maybe not be talked into excursion that you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
And those excursions sell out. So make sure you do it early so you get the ones you really want to do.
Next, number 6. Our room was on deck 9. Right below that, deck 8, 7, and 6 on the Norwegian Encore is kind of like your entertainment central for the ship. It's where the majority of the restaurants are. It's where the majority of the bars are. It's where the atrium is.
And the theater.
And the theater. So if entertainment, food, drinking is up your alley for a cruise, it's really convenient to try to book a room on like level 9, level 10, because you're one short walk of stairs away from a beer or from a snack at the local.
Or dinner.
Right. That was really convenient, not having to, we don't use the elevators on the cruise. We use the stairs to try to burn off some of those calories that we're packing in. So it was kind of nice to only be one floor away.
That being said, the buffet and the deck and the observation lounge, they are 15, 16.
Yep.
So from 9, it was a little bit of a hike to get up there.
Maybe if your cruise is a Caribbean cruise on the Norwegian Encore, you want to be a little bit higher up because then you're close to the ice cream, the pool deck, the bars. Or if you're traveling with a family, younger kids who are into things that they might find in the Galaxy Pavilion, which is the paid onboard arcade, the laser tag, the go-kart racing, all that stuff is like 15, 16, 17. So in that kind of scenario, maybe get something up at the top.
Yeah. Number 7, we had the premium beverage package on this particular cruise because it was included when we booked. It was one of the free perks that we got. But unless that you can drink 6+ cocktails or 10+ beers a day, it is not worth it to buy the drink package in our opinion. It's kind of expensive. I think for the 2 of us, it would have been $1,400 because you can't book it for a day.
Right.
It's the whole cruise or nothing. So unless you plan on drinking a lot, I would say pay for those drinks out of pocket. It's probably going to cost you less in the long run.
Yeah, you figure $1,400 for 2 people, that's $700 a person. Over 7 days, you got to spend $100 a day. And my beers were
$10.
$7 to $10 a beer. So I can drink, but I don't want to drink 10 beers a day.
And we went to Alaska, so we were on the, we were at port. We were in Alaska for a lot of those days. We weren't even on the
half your
ship.
day is off the ship, so we're glad that we got it included with the price of our tickets, but I don't think I would have paid for it out of pocket because
Definitely
you
not.
have to drink a lot to make it worth it. Number 8. Most of the bars on the ship have very similar menus, if not exactly the same menus. They might have some specialty drinks that you can ask about or advertise separately on the bar themselves, but the menus, for the most part, the cocktails are exactly the same, the availability of beers is exactly the same. If it's something in Maltings or Sugar Cane's Mojito Bar, you do have to look at their menu because they're all specialty drinks. Like Maltings is a whiskey bar, Sugar Cane's is a mojito bar. But if you go to the A-list bar, or if you go to Mix, which is between taste and savor, or if you go to one of those like upper level pool bars, something like that.
The drinks are all the same.
They're all the same. So take a picture of that menu, save it on your phone, because sometimes that QR code that they give you just does not work.
Fights with you, man.
It just did not work. And you'd have to ask them to bring you a menu.
Oh, I know. It's kind of a pain.
You just take a picture. They're all the same when you go to those types of bars.
Also, the bars are I think all of the bars are fully stocked. So if you go on knowing that you like Jack and Cokes or you like a special drink, that they can make it for you.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, don't think that you can't go to Maltings if you don't like whiskey. If you go to Maltings and order a vodka tonic, they're gonna make it for you because they have it. But it's geared towards like the whiskey crowd.
Definitely. Number 9. Even if you don't have the specialty dining package, I think it's worth going to one or two of the specialty dining restaurants on board the Encore because they're really good options. Yeah. We did Le Bistro and Food Republic. Food Republic was hands down the best food that we had on the cruise.
Yeah,
definitely go to that one, especially if you like Asian, Mexican fusion. The food there was fantastic.
Yeah.
Huge portions, so it would not cost you very much out of pocket. We heard really great things about Onda, about Ocean Blue.
Mm-hmm. Onda being kind of the flagship restaurant, and Ocean Blue being like the seafood restaurant on
There's
the ship.
a burger place, a diner. We had 2 specialty dining experiences included in our package that was also part of the like, book with us and you get this for free. Mm-hmm. I think after a couple of days, we probably would have tried some of the specialty restaurants anyway, but the specialty restaurants are definitely worth it, even if you only want to go to 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, experience it. It's worth paying the money for. And finally, number 10. So I did this before I went. I did a lot of research, watched a lot of YouTube videos on the ship itself because I knew it was a very big ship and I didn't want to waste time trying to learn where to go. I wanted to get on board and know where to go. And it was very worth it. Get the app. On the app, there are deck plans. You can look at exactly where everything is on every floor of the ship.
Once you're on board, the deck plans are not available on the app. You'll have to go to the website.
Right, you have to go to the website. But once you're on board, even without an internet package, the app does work.
And we use those deck plans a lot.
Yes, right. Because even if I knew that, probably what I wanted to do was on deck 6, 7, or 8, to walk down to 6 thinking it's on 6 and then have to walk up to 8 to realize it's on 7 is not a fun thing. So yeah, get the app, look at the deck plans, go online, look at the deck plans before you go a few times. Get it in your head just generally where things are.
All of the activities for your day are going to be available 24 hours beforehand in that app as well. The app's not the greatest app in the world, but it worked for what we were doing. So just make sure you have that because it'll probably save you a lot of time in the long run.
So, not a tip or a trick, but a tip or a trick from us to you. While we're talking about deck plans, stay tuned because coming out soon, there will be a full ship tour of all the common areas that we did on one of the last days we were there. Top to bottom, shows you all the areas that you can get to without being a member of the Vibe Beach Club or being in the Haven.
Hopefully that'll help you.
Yeah, hopefully that helps.
Learn the ship before you get there.
Seeing it will definitely help orient you a little bit, and it's what I use to figure out where things were on the ship. I watch YouTube videos and ship tours, so hopefully you find it useful.
Well, we hope that this video has helped you learn about the Norwegian Encore. Mm-hmm. Get excited. It's a beautiful ship, but it is a big ship. So if we can save you a little bit of energy and time once you get on board, I hope we've done that for you.
Absolutely.
Make sure you are subscribed because if you don't know, we mostly do Disney stuff, and after this series, I suspect a Disney series will probably be the next one we do.
Yeah. If you've got recommendations for our next Disney series, feel free to put them in the comments below. That might, That might get her to get me there a little sooner.
Give it a thumbs up if you've liked it, and share it with your friends that are traveling on the Encore anytime soon.
Make sure to hit the bell so you know whenever we post the next video.
Absolutely. And until next time,
Stay magical. So you're sailing on the Norwegian Encore.
It's your first time, and it can be a little confusing.
Here are 10 tips and tricks.
Can't wait such a long pause.
Well, I thought you had more to say.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So you're sailing on the
No, you
Norwegian...
can't. Go ahead.
So you're sailing on the Norwegian Encore.
It's a huge ship and can be a little confusing.
Here are 10 tips and tricks to help you get around on the... I'm sorry. I knew that was coming. I knew the weird was about to happen.
We could sense the weird from the dog.